Nancy Pelosi needs to go, all right? She should not be minority leader. She certainly shouldn't be Speaker of the House if Dems do take the House back come November. But this is ridiculous that Nancy Pelosi still, after all these failures, is still minority leader. 1,000 seats. The Democrats have lost 1,000 seats since Obama first got elected. And Nancy Pelosi hasn't been punished at all. Nancy Pelosi is leader of the Democratic Party in the House. That's ridiculous to not associate her with enormous losses. 1,000 seats, okay? This is ridiculous. Not only that, but the latest story also confirms my point, okay? 18th District in Pennsylvania, there's a special election because the Republican representative of that district got caught telling his mistress, supposedly told his mistress to seek an abortion for a possible child. And he got caught, okay? So he's gone. But now guess what the Republicans are trying to do in the 18th District? They're trying to tie Conor Lamb, who is the Democrat now running, to Nancy Pelosi. This is what they do every time. It doesn't matter what the policies are. The policy differences are between any Democrat and Nancy Pelosi. The Republicans tie every single Democrat to Nancy Pelosi. And it's a very effective strategy. Why? Because Republicans despise Nancy Pelosi. And not just Republicans, a lot of Democrats even aren't crazy about Nancy Pelosi. They don't despise her like the Republicans do. You know, the Republicans think she's Antichrist, you know. But there's a lot of Democrats that look at the enormous 1,000-seat loss during her tenure and think it's ridiculous that she is still minority leader. Okay, what are the Democrats thinking? What are you doing? Do you want to win or do you want to lose? I mean, it makes no sense to keep her as a minority leader when she is such a lightning rod for the right. They link every single Democrat they can to Nancy Pelosi. It doesn't matter if they never even met Nancy Pelosi. It doesn't matter if their policies are widely differ from Nancy Pelosi. If they're a Democrat running for the House, link them to Nancy Pelosi. And it works, you know, 8 out of 10 times it'll work. It's a very effective strategy. And they're doing it again, okay? Apparently, a right-wing SuperPAC is spending $1.5 million to tie Conor Lamb to Nancy Pelosi. Doesn't matter about policy. Doesn't matter about the issues. It doesn't matter if he even met Nancy Pelosi. It doesn't matter if he even likes Nancy Pelosi. They're tying him to Nancy Pelosi. Okay, get this. In the SuperPAC ad, which they're going to be spending $1.5 million for a House race. That's already absurd. But $1.5 million for this ad, supposedly, where they directly call Conor Lamb a sheep of Nancy Pelosi's. A sheep. I mean, the Democrats never learn, man. You don't have someone who is such a light. It's like Hillary all over again. They continue to nominate and promote these terrible, terrible politicians that the right has spent decades demonizing. And effectively, mind you, right or wrong, you know, you can argue whether or not Nancy Pelosi is a good Democrat, a good politician, a good progressive, whatever. Put whatever adjective you want in there. You can argue that all you want, but that's not the issue here. The issue is that on the right, Nancy Pelosi has effectively been demonized, just as Hillary was. Republicans despise Nancy Pelosi. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They hate her with a passion. And as long as she is minority leader, they're going to use scare tactics to say, you better go out and vote for this Republican or else Nancy Pelosi is going to be Speaker of the House again. You don't want that, right? You better go out and vote then. And guess what? It's effective. That is effective. The right thrives on fear. They thrive on it. That's what they live on. The right are the most scared people in the country. I get it. She is a great fundraiser, okay? She even claims herself she's the best fundraiser. And she may very well be. I have no doubt she sucks up to all the big donors and sells out over and over and over to raise the most money. She's a wonderful fundraiser. Okay, whoop-de-doo. That doesn't mean she should be leader of the minority party in the House. That doesn't mean that she should be Speaker of the House if the Democrats do in fact win in November. Put someone who's less hated in that position, who may actually even be a better leader, because other than fundraising, I don't see Nancy Pelosi as some great leader. You know, she's a fundraiser. That's what she is. Okay, so put her behind the scenes and have her raise funds. You don't have to have her as the party, the face of the party in the House in order to do that. Their strategy just sucks, man. They have such a bad strategy over and over and over. They promote these despised, horrible people, at least according to the right. You know, personally, I mean, I don't hate Nancy Pelosi. I think she's a corporate sellout and she's part of the establishment. I don't like her. I don't think she's the Antichrist like a lot of people on the right do. But they do. That's reality. The right despises her. Absolutely despises her. So you don't put someone that divisive as your face on your party in the House. You just don't do that. That's just bad politics. I mean, the Democrats, they don't seem to understand basic politics. This isn't how you win, guys. This isn't how you win. How you win is you put a less divisive, better leader in there that, sure, maybe isn't the greatest fundraiser, but you know what? That's probably not such a bad thing because people hate corporate sellouts. That's not popular, okay? And look, you want to have Nancy Pelosi in the background continuing to sell out and raise funds? Fine. Personally, I think that's also a bad strategy. I think they should campaign on the fact that the Democrats don't take any money from super PACs or corporations. I think that would go over extremely well with the average person because most people hate money in politics. But hey, that's just me. I'm sure that's a crazy idea in Washington. No. Make sure you have one of the most hated people as your minority leader and the potential Speaker of the House. Yeah. There's a good strategy. Keep doing that. These Democrats, man, you got to get better Democrats in there. I don't for the life of me understand how the people of San Francisco keep electing Nancy Pelosi. What are you thinking? What about Nancy Pelosi do you like? Do you like the money in politics? Do you like the fact that she's a huge sellout? Okay, I mean, I guess if you like that, keep voting for her. I think you're in the extreme tiny minority of the population of this country, though. Most people hate corporate sellouts. They hate money in politics. They hate super PACs. They hate the influence that the wealthy can buy because it corrupts our entire democracy. We'll see how it goes in the 18th, but don't be surprised if the Republican hangs on to the seat in the 18th district. The fact is, they just have a better strategy, okay? I don't like the Republican running. I'm sure he's terrible. I'm sure he supports Trump on 90% of issues. I'm sure he's a terrible, terrible candidate in person and politician, etc., etc. But at the very least, they seem to understand political strategy. The Democrats are lost in a forest. They're in a forest with Hillary somewhere when it comes to actual political strategy. I'm convinced most of the Democrats don't seem to have a clue on how to actually do effective politics. It just amazes me that this is one of the major two political parties. You think by their political strategy that this would be, a party no one's ever heard of. This is one of the two major political parties, and they just don't seem to have a clue on what the heck they're doing politically. Amazing.